quick disclaimer before we start. I'm not a dietitian, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not an expert in weight loss, but this is just my own advice and what I did to lose weight personally. Also, this video will mention calorie counting and thoughts of bad body image and to do with that topic. So if that triggers you at all, please click out of the video because I don't want to upset you. Hello my loves, welcome to or welcome back to my channel. Today I've got another talking video for you. This video is going to be all about how I lost weight and how I went from this to this. I went through a long time going through trial and error, and this is the video that I really could have done with when I was going through this time. Okay, we're going to start from the beginning. I was always really skinny as a child, and people were usually actually worried about my weight because I was so small and I was such a fussy eater, and I was a very active child. But when I got to 14, someone whose opinion I cared about called me fat, and it all went downhill from there. I started really worrying what I looked like and finding any little bit of fat on my body to pinch and to try and get rid of. I started looking up weight loss videos, googling how to lose weight, what my weight should be. I didn't actually even weigh myself at this point. I was 14, I didn't know how much I weighed, but I would go through all sorts of measures to try and lose weight because someone made a joke that I was fat. So I went through my teenage years yo-yo dieting. I tried every diet you can think of. I tried so much, and thinking back now, it was such a waste of time, such a waste of energy, but it was all I could think about. All I could think about was how many calories am I eating? How many calories are in this? How many calories is this workout burning? I didn't work out for my health, I worked out just to lose weight. I didn't do workouts I enjoyed. I did loads of high intensity workouts. I've now learned that high intensity exercises really don't work well with my body. They really swell me and make me feel so tired and even more hungry. But the more diets I went on, the heavier I got, because I would lose 5, maybe 10 pounds, then I would feel extreme hunger and I'd just binge all the food back in. And it wasn't healthy food, it was biscuits, chocolates, sweets. I mean, you can definitely eat those things every day in a healthy way, but this wasn't a healthy way. This was proper binging on all the foods that I'd restricted. I would watch all these weight loss videos that would tell you to eat 3 meals a day and walk 10,000 steps, and yeah, that might work for some people, but me personally, I'm a really big snacker. So 3 meals a day doesn't really work with me. I like to eat lots of little meals, and the advice I'm going to give will work fine whether you want 3 meals a day, 2 meals a day, 7 meals a day. It will still work however many meals you want to eat in a day. And I'd watch these people that were so slim and they're eating pizza and they're eating burgers, and I was like, how can they do that? When I eat a burger, I put on 10 pounds. But I figured out how they do it. As we probably know, they've got a high metabolism. And this video is not only going to be how you can lose weight, it's mostly how you can raise your metabolism to lose weight without even really thinking about it. So this yo-yo dieting carried on until I was about 23. At this point, I was starting to get really bad stomach issues as well. So much so that it looked like I was pregnant. And these were so painful. It disturbed my sleep, but it never affected my appetite. I always wanted to eat more. But I now know that was because I was eating loads of sugar and starchy carbs, which don't really fill you up, and if they do, it's not for long because your body just burns through all that sugar and it wants more. Because my stomach problems were so bad and really affecting my everyday, I started to cut out sugar and starches. And this wasn't to lose weight anymore, this was to fix my stomach. Before this point, I was still weighing myself daily, counting calories, using an app to track everything that I ate, and really overthinking so much about what I was putting into my body. It was all I could think about. So when I cut all these sugars and starches out of my diet, I did start to lose weight, but that gives you a little bit of false hope because that is water weight that you're losing. Your body holds a lot of water, and carbs really help to keep it in your body, which does serve a purpose. But when you stop eating carbs, like when you're on the keto diet, your body just drops a lot of water weight fast. And for me, it wasn't sustainable, this diet. When I did eat this way, I did have loads of energy because I made sure I was eating loads of fat. At this point, I was still counting calories, but I noticed that my stomach was feeling so much better eating really high fat and low starches and not much sugar at all. I'd have like honey and stuff like that. This started to clear my mind a bit because I wasn't so hung up on eating so much sugar and really just making my brain go crazy with all the additives and things I was eating. I started to think a bit more clearer, and I noticed that weighing myself was really affecting my mental health. So I made the leap and chucked my scales out. As my stomach started to heal itself, I noticed that my proper hunger hormones were coming back. Before, it was just so blurred between when I was hungry and when I was not, because I was eating most of the time. I didn't even allow myself to get hungry, or I'd let myself get too hungry and then I'd just binge on so much food. Eating in a way that fueled my body made me tune into my actual hunger signals, which then helped me eat to my appetite. So when I was full, I didn't want to eat, and during a meal, if I got full, I stopped eating. I know people get a lot of pressure put on them for leaving food, and people can be very judgmental when you leave food, but honestly, it's either going to waste in the bin or it's going to waste in your body. If you don't want to eat it, please don't force yourself to eat it. Who cares who judges you? You just got to get over it. When I was eating this way, I did find that I got a little bit too skinny. I got a bit skinny fat, of sort of skinny with not really any muscle definition. It was at this point, because I'd not eaten sugary things and carbs for so long, the addiction started to creep back in. Whenever I had a few little bits, I'd want to eat the whole thing because my brain just really doesn't work well with any restriction. It was at this point that I decided to go on 75 hard for a little challenge. Now, I'm not saying you have to do this to lose weight, definitely not. It didn't even particularly help me lose weight, it just sort of corrected my mind and made me realise some things. So you have to pick a diet to go on 75 hard, and my diet was to not eat any artificial sugar. When I cut out sugar, my mind goes so clear, I have no brain fog. I now am at a point where I can eat little bits of sugar every day and it's fine, but at this point my sugar addiction was still quite bad, so I'd eat quite a bit in one sitting. What 75 hard also requires for you to do is to drink 4 litres of water a day. And for my body, I'm only 5'4". That was probably a little bit too much, but I stuck to the rules for 75 days. Water is great because it fills your stomach up, because sometimes hunger and thirst can feel very similar. So when you're hungry, you might actually be thirsty. It eliminated that. It helped me pay attention to when I was actually hungry and when I was thirsty. Another rule is that you have to exercise twice a day for 45 minutes, one outside and one inside or outside. Either way, you have to do one outside. What I'd usually do is I'd do one weightlifting session or Pilates, and then I'd do one walk outside. And this completely changed my mind and my body, because by starting to go to the gym, I noticed that I liked the look of building muscle. Not too much muscle, but I liked the toned look. And I found out that it's quite common knowledge now, but you need to eat a lot of protein to build and maintain that muscle. I started adjusting my diet to eat more protein. I wasn't counting calories at this point. I was just making sure on my phone calculator or in my head that I was hitting at least 100 grams of protein a day, and this helped me regulate my appetite. Protein is so filling, so I didn't even feel the need to eat sugar because I was just so full. And the cardio, the walks outside, really helped me burn fat, because you need your heart rate to be raised but not too high to be in that sweet little fat burning zone. Near to the end of 75 hard, I started to get into running, because I come from a very sporty family and my dad loves cycling and my sister loves swimming. So we decided that because I've been a runner in the past, we would do a triathlon relay. So this was really great because it gave me something to train for. It gave me the motivation to eat and train for a sport. I started viewing food differently. I stopped caring about what I looked like because I wanted to hit that running time. I wanted to do a really good 5k. To do that, I needed to train hard and I needed to eat to fuel my workouts, because I really felt it when I didn't eat properly. And this is when I started upping the carbs again to help my running times. And this really took my mind off of all the eating traumas in the past and thinking about what my body looks like and what I should eat to make it look a certain way. All that got wiped out just by the fact that I wanted to succeed in this sport for my family. My training, instead of being based around weight, it was based around performance, and that just changed everything. Even now, the way I eat, the times I eat, it's all based around my runs and how I'm going to feel during them. And although it can work for some people, it doesn't work for me. eating when you're hungry and stopping when you're full. That's fine for some people, but sometimes I get confused with, I'm not feeling particularly hungry today, but I've got no energy. Now I make sure that I eat enough protein all throughout the day to fuel my workouts and to help me build and maintain muscle. Even when I'm really full, I will still make sure that I get that protein in, which also helps me because I realise that even though I'm eating past full, I'm not gaining weight. And the way I eat my meals I think is quite important as well. So say I've got my plate, I'll eat the protein and my favourite part of the meal first. Say we've got a chicken roast dinner, I'll make sure I eat all the chicken and the Yorkshire puddings and the potatoes first, and then whatever else that's not as yummy to me, I'll eat last, so that when I'm full, it's all right because I've eaten my favourite bit and I've eaten my protein. Again, I just don't worry about leaving food. I used to feel really judged for it, but honestly, it goes over my head now. If I don't want to eat it, I'm not going to eat it. Okay, so that was my story. I'm now going to wrap it up into tips because otherwise you're just going to have to keep sifting through the video. Number one is to make sure you're eating a lot of protein. It's generally a gram per pound of body weight. Like I say, I don't know how much I weigh, but I eat between 100 and 120 grams of protein a day, and I always make sure I get it in, even if I'm full. Protein really helps to raise your metabolism, it helps to build muscle, and building muscle also raises your metabolism. Number two is drinking water. This really helps flush your body out, it helps regulate your digestive system, it helps you to feel less hungry and give you more energy. Number three is to do workouts you enjoyed. I used to do HIIT training and I did not enjoy it. I only did it for weight loss and it didn't make me lose weight, it just swelled my body. So what I really enjoy is weightlifting once a week and Pilates 3 times a week. Make sure you get some resistance training in because we want to build that muscle and raise our metabolism. Number four is cardio. Cardio really helps to burn fat and keep your heart healthy, obviously, but weight loss wise, it helps to burn fat. I'm not saying you have to be a runner at all. I actually lost the most weight when I was walking for half an hour to 45 minutes a day. I don't want to be cliche and say get them 10,000 steps in, but if you're number orientated, then that would be a good way for you. Number five, don't worry about leaving food. Honestly, it's either going to go in the bin or it's going to cling to your body in fat. It might be a bit controversial, but just leave it if you're not hungry. Number six is eat to fuel your body. For me, it really worked getting into a sport, but just having some goal to train for, whether you want to see a bit more muscle definition in your body, just having some goal to train for that isn't just weight loss. For me, running, it makes me focus on foods that's good for fuel and that are going to fuel my workouts, and it really helps me to see food differently. It doesn't make me see foods as, oh, this is something that's going to make me gain weight. It helps me see it in, I could eat that cookie, but then I might get a crash and then my run will be really bad. Or I could have this smoothie and it's going to give me so much energy, and then if I want the cookie after, I can eat the cookie after and it's not going to affect my run. Number seven, don't stress over what you've eaten before. Stress is so detrimental to the body, and it really, if you've eaten it, it doesn't matter, you've eaten it, there's nothing you can do about it. It's only if you eat loads every day that it's going to start making a difference. Honestly, I eat chocolate and crisps every day, not in big portions, but you can definitely eat what you want every day and get to the physique that you like, unless you're trying to be an extreme bodybuilder, and then it's probably a little bit more restrictive. Number eight worked well for me, but it might not work for everyone, and that is to stop weighing yourself. You can look so different at different weights. I took this comparison a year ago and I weigh the same here. This was when I was still weighing myself. So scales are really not the way to go. I just judge by how I look in the mirror. Number 9 is be aware of food intolerances. In the past, what I said about my stomach problems, that was actually a slight gluten intolerance. I can eat little bits of gluten for really random bits. I can eat pastry, but I can't eat bread. It's just a long time of trial and error that I can figure out what I can eat. If there's something that you're eating frequently and you're noticing pains after it, try cutting it out for a week and see if you feel any better. Also, intolerances can swell your body and that can make you look so different. And number 10 is that I'm afraid this isn't a quick fix. This took me a lot of trial and error. It's just about being consistent. You don't have to do all of these tips every day, but each one of them will help you in its own little way, and I try to stick to them most days. Okay, I hope this video was helpful for you. I think I've covered all the points I wanted, but if you have any more questions for me, please leave them in the comments down below and I'll answer them for you. I really love talking to you all, and Oh, you're so sweet in the comments, and I love you all so much. Thank you for watching. Bye.